My name is Tonya Khoury, and this is this week's Acumen Media Report. It's entitled, Vote or Go Broke, South Africa, the real poll for elections 2024. Acumen Media's social media poll shows that the ANC is on a hiding to nothing. And you thought I'd left you. Never. Not with a few days to vote in. How can you imagine I'd leave you in the media darkness? And for real, guys, who are we voting for? I'm Tonya Khoury, and I'm sick of media polls. It feels like Oprah Winfrey rode into town and said, you get a poll, everybody gets a poll. Regarding these polls, their sample sizes are never more than 5,000 people, and we take them very seriously. Yesterday, I read that 42% of the sample are not registered to vote or not voting at all. 42%. Are you kidding me? Go home. If I had to tell you 42% of my data is flawed, I wouldn't have a business. So, without further ado, here's the Acumen Media poll based on a social media data set of posts amounting to more than 500,000 that have been narrowed down to 216,000, where the post mentions vote, voting for, or voting. Want to hear some good news? The ANC is on a hiding to nothing. Although they filled up our timelines, we, the audience, absolutely despise them. The message is loud and clear, South Africa. Do not vote for the ANC. We have spoken a lot, and that's basically all we've got. That, and what on earth is MK on about? Let me try to get it this right. Zuma never left the ANC. He was suspended. He stole a logo and stood up as a leader of the MK party. He was told he can't be the leader, but he insisted, so the IEC put him on the ballot. Then it went to court, and he was told again, this time by the highest court in the land, that he cannot contest in these elections.
Mr. Zuma was convicted of an offence and sentenced to more than 12-month imprisonment for purposes of Section 47(1)(e) of the Constitution, and is accordingly not eligible to be a member of and not qualified to stand for election to the National Assembly until 5 years have elapsed since the completion of his sentence.
So, he went back to Nkandla, yet his face and his Orlando Stadium rally led the masses of South Africa to believe that he is firmly in control of MK. See what he did there? Chess master with a standard 2 education. He's so smart. He doesn't even have a legal link to MK, yet the party and the ballot are carrying his face and the nation is buying it. The biggest foolery was that Zuma is stupid. He outwitted all of them. Will MK be a thing in August? Nah. I think they'll have imploded by then. They haven't paid their volunteers, the coffers are dry. But hold on to your seats, because we all know that Ubaba is a crybaby and KZN is likely to make a lot of noise. Regardless, the stats show that they're unlikely to make a massive impact in the actual election. The message the data conveys very, very strongly is that we are in coalition country. If you don't know your political party's affiliations, then you'd better read the small print again. You're going to be ruled by a coalition. That is a fact. The other massive elephant in the room is today's youth, because they are either apathetic to the election or they haven't a clue where to put their cross. They may, very well, stay in bed. Not that I blame them, because this is chaos. It doesn't make a lot of sense and carries quite heavy admin to register to vote. The truth is, we have so many choices, but none of them really stick. So what about me? I voted for Rise Mzansi for national, just because I know the folk that work at this new party. There really are a good bunch of people. A great deal of them are from foundations like the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, who I've had the honor to work with for many years. 10 years ago, Kathrada Foundation took my breath away. I walked into a very humble office and there were people scurrying everywhere making sure good stuff got done. Uncle Kathy spoke from the grave about corruption and malfeasance in the ANC. If the Katrada crew are there, so am I. Locally and provincially, I'm still not sure. The IFP runs my region, and I know the ward councillor personally, and he's always feeding people, so I'm good with that. I don't even really know who leads the IFP nationally. Isn't that crazy? Their posters carry Prince Buthelezzi's face, but he's, dead. Who I vote for provincially is an absolute mystery, but vote I will, because one thing I'm absolutely certain of, and you should be too, is the ANC has to go. I voted for Cyril the Squirrel before, and I've kicked my own behind. Cyril looks tired, man. He looks bored. He looks like he'd rather be abroad. Whatever you do, good people of South Africa, unseat this rotten king. Footsack ANC. You want me to mention the DA, don't you? I can tell you. I know you are actually reading this or listening to this just so that I go there with the DA. So let's do it. They burnt our flag. How can you burn my flag? That's my flag. That's 2010's flag. That's the Rugby World Cup's flag. That's Madiba's flag. And that's my flag. Don't you touch it. It's almost as if the DA are running for own goal deliberately. Isn't burning our flag treasonous? Isn't it the ultimate disrespect to our country? They are staggering, this lot, aren't they? They don't burn the ANC's paraphernalia, they burn our flag. They're also anti-Palestinian, which doesn't go down well with most humans. Here's the trouble with the DA, apart from those obvious things. They are linked to BOSA, PA, ACDP, and Action SA in what they term a moonshot. Oh, and the Freedom Front Plus. This means that those party votes will inevitably end up with the DA, and that makes me mad as hell. Action SA may stand a chance, but the looming DA will gobble them up. I'm not a Herman fan. I think he's xenophobic, but he has a strong following, only to turn blue at the end of the race. Oh, jog on, man. And then you have the Red Berets, the EFF now a firmly established party, and Joyce has been running as if he's entered the Comrades Marathon. He's been on every media channel all week, and he communicates so well, doesn't he?
Rest, because very brilliant communicators of the EFF have carried the mantle in a very proud way.
Yeah.
The whole of the EFF do really well in the oration category, but not so great in the action and honesty category. I think we've all worked out where the EFF sits, and that's around the 10% mark. It's okay. We enjoy painting Parliament red sometimes. And that's it. Even though you have a bunch of independent candidates and hundreds of parties you've never heard of, these are the ones that are going to be in our coalitions. Doesn't look pretty, does it? But it's a darn sight more attractive than the ANC, right? It's a mess. We might as well chuck our vote into the mix it up. Elections 2024, go vote or go broke. As for the rest of the news, there was so much to mention. The George building left the nation mourning. The Pala Pala refund had cupcake hopping. Grootman's disgusting revenge porn acting dominated many headlines. It gets worse. A 5-year-old was shot in Shoshanguve. 2 of our bread truck drivers were killed in the Sasco murders. It gets comical. The judge in the Senzo Miwe trial completely lost his rag in court. He was embroiled in a shouting match with Advocate Baloy and Advocate Mshololo.
Mr. Baloy, wait. You remember somebody was deceased?
Yes, that's precisely what it was said.
Yes, I listen and I write notes.
My Lord, I've never said that we are changing what we said in respect of the number belonging to the mother of the accused.
But
I've never said anything about that, and I don't know the reason why the state is standing up when I'm cross-examining. Because you can note down and do that in re-examination. That's not the procedure to disturb when counsel is doing cross-examination.
As a good, well, firstly, my colleague doesn't have to raise her voice, and secondly, we submit that we are within our rights put the correct information.
What was the assertion by council yesterday regarding those numbers?
The assertion was that the...
My lord, it's wrong for the state to respond on my behalf. I'm the one who was cross-examining.
No, please. There's decorum in court. It's not a tavern. I normally attend taverns in Soweto.
I don't attend taverns.
Yes, that's why you don't know what
tavern.
happens in a tavern. Sir,
The judge
just
told
verify
Ruth
this.
Shaloro that one would only behave that way in a tavern in Soweto, which he has frequented. And she retorted that she doesn't frequent taverns. How did we get here? Justice for Senzo? We will never have justice for Senzo, not in my lifetime. Across the seas, the Iranian president was killed in a helicopter crash. We all kept very quiet when this news was announced, and we took a sharp breath in and held it for a little longer than is comfortable. But no one said a word. It's almost as if he who speaks pushes the nuclear button. Scary across those waters. They're calling Raisi the butcher of Iran. And then millions, literally millions of people attended his funeral procession. The ICC issued an arrest warrant for Bibi and others, but Netanyahu called it a disgrace and promptly ignored
Courageous
it.
decision by the ICC prosecutor, Karim Khan, to seek arrest warrants against the democratically elected leaders of Israel is a moral outrage of historic proportions.
A bit like Putin ignored his and almost came to South Africa. Remember that? Well, there's rumors now that Netanyahu will be traveling to the USA. The USA, where kids camp out all night, which is cute because they think they make a difference. We've all seen what happens to nasty politicians. They hang around for eternity. Nothing happens to nasty politicians. Who said Trump? Enough of troubled waters. I beg your indulgence on an unbelievable story before you go. It's straight out of Netflix. Local Setswana fisherman and salt-to-the-earth guy John Matambu was hijacked, kidnapped, and was never seen again. The perpetrator is Ferdy Visser. Visser kidnapped John, made him sail to the northern part of South Africa's waters, and that was the last we heard from John. A burnt boat and Visser turned up in Mozambique. The rods from the vessel had been sold to local for Visser's transport and food. He was alone. South Africa and Mozambique put out a manhunt when John was kidnapped, and within days, civil society had caught Visser. He was arrested in Maputo and then extradited to South Africa. In the extradition process, the cops bungled it, and Visser could have just gone home. They have no proof, you see. We watched it happen. We caught him, and our judiciary was going to release him, except Visser is on parole, thank God. He had literally left prison just before he came to Setswana to slip back into more skullduggery. What were his previous charges? Everyone is tight-lipped. But we do know that he got a presidential pardon for those charges, and hence he's on parole. I'll just leave that there for you to draw your own assumptions. So here in Setswana, we're back to square one. The family are laying a charge of murder to see if that sticks. When Visser was being driven to court this week, he banged his head so hard on a police van that he had to be taken to hospital. This guy is a nasty piece of work, and the family is desperate to know what happened to their beloved John Matambu. I've long used up my words, and we didn't even talk about Uyanene's killer who's back in court for rape, nor did I refer to Diddy's disgusting, abusive behavior and how he beat not only that woman, but he split the system, but he didn't beat social media justice. I didn't even mention that Boeing have yet another oopsie that cost a man his life. There were so many stories, but for now, vote, my country. Vote for anyone you choose, but vote. Rise, my South Africa. We only get to use our power every few years. Make it count. Side note, talking about power, have you stored all your electricity for May 30th? We'll be like Simon and Garfunkel then. Hello, darkness, my old friend. We're here to talk to you again. I'm Tonya Khoury, and thank you for scratching the surface with me and Acumen Media.